Let's talk about the feeling of failing at journaling, because for years I was convinced that I should be a journaling person. I tried everything: digital apps, paper notebooks, you name it. I'd start full of intention, but nothing ever clicked. I'd scroll through social media, seeing these stunning aesthetic journals with perfect handwriting and deep and meaningful entries, and I just tried to do the same. But the pressure for every single entry to be profound was just so intense that I'd give up after a week, feeling like a failure. I figured that I just wasn't cut out for it, and I wrestled with this for years until a simple mindset shift and a specific combination of paper journals and fountain pens. Finally, I made it all work. So here's what was going wrong. I was trying to create a perfect product, not start a personal process. I was basically performing for some imaginary future audience who stumbled across my journal. This pressure to be perfect is the number one killer of journaling habits. But the big eureka moment for me was realizing the simple truth. My journal is a reflection of me, and my life is not perfect. It's messy. It's got crossouts, and it's got moments where there's just no sense. And some days there's not actually that much to say. Why on earth was I expecting my journal to be any different? Just letting go of that expectation was like a huge weight was lifted, and I finally got it. Journaling isn't about creating a flawless artifact for a museum. The real value is in the act of writing itself, of untangling your thoughts and giving yourself a private space to be completely and unapologetically you. It's a tool for your own growth and decompression, not a test that you can fail. Once I gave myself permission to be messy, I started wondering how I could make the actual act of journaling more fun to build it into a stronger habit. If it wasn't going to look perfect, maybe it could feel amazing. And that's when I fell down the rabbit hole of fountain pens. Now, I know that this might sound a little special, but hear me out. Using a fountain pen was a complete game changer. First off, there's inks. I can choose which of my inks I use to transfer my thoughts and feelings onto a page. The colour, the properties, the feel, sometimes even the smell, it makes it into an experience. It's not just black or blue. It makes the whole process feel special. And now I'm allowed to be messy, I'm not afraid of using those different inks and just having fun on the page. And second, the physical experience is just, well, better. In my opinion, fountain pens glide across the paper with almost no pressure, which means that my hand doesn't get tired and I can write for longer. There's smooth sensory feedback from the nib that's almost meditative, and this slower, more deliberate pace helps quiet all that mental chatter, and it lets me connect with my thoughts as they flow onto the page in that beautiful wet ink that sits there for a moment as it slowly dries. It's not just writing, it's a practice in mindfulness, and there's no better way to write. And the best part is all the customization. With hundreds of inks to choose from, my journaling became a new way to express myself. I could pick a colour that matched my mood, which made the experience feel more creative, even on days when I didn't have that much to say. The ink flowing and the colour just made it much easily. I rarely draw in my journal, and I don't use washi tape. I keep my journal purely for written words rather than scrapbooking, but each to their own. So for me, ink is the creative expression. So if you've been struggling like I was, here are a few simple things that you can try to totally reframe your relationship with journaling. First, and I can't say this enough, just give yourself permission to be messy. Seriously, scribble, cross things out, spill coffee, make mistakes. Your journal is a safe space for your authentic self, not a performance. Forget perfection. And if anything, these imperfections just make it more personal. Next, find a tool that brings you joy, because for me, it was the fountain pen, and I highly recommend trying one if you haven't already. But it could be anything. It could be a specific gel pen that you love. It could be a really beautiful notebook, even a journaling app. The goal is to make the act itself feel like a treat and something special. Third, create a simple ritual. Try habit stacking. Anchor your journaling time to something that you already do, like while your morning coffee is brewing, just after you put the kids to bed, or before you turn the lights out. This tiny routine makes it less like a chore and more like a moment of self-care that you can look forward to. And finally, start small and be flexible. That flexibility will help you find a style that just clicks, or at least clicks for the moment. You don't need to write a 3-page epic every day. Start with just one sentence, and if you miss a day or even a whole week, don't beat yourself up. A journal isn't a streak that you have to maintain. It's a tool that's always there for you when you're ready to pick it up again. So switching my mindset from perfectionism to messy, joyful expression has made journaling one of the most powerful tools in my life. It's no longer a source of pressure, but a source of clarity and relief. The secret wasn't about becoming a better journaler. It was about letting my journal be as beautifully imperfect as I am. Your story deserves to be written, not necessarily perfected. Let me know down in the comments what is the one thing that's held you back from journaling consistently. And if this has helped you out in any way, then please consider subscribing. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.